Billionaire mining entrepreneur Ross Beatty just invested in a copper junior that isn't his, which is super rare. Now, it's not abnormal to see Ross investing in companies that are his. For example, when Lumina Gold needs money, he's there to provide the financing. When Luminex Resources, another one of his companies, needs money, he's there to provide the financing. But what happened here is Luminex Resources and Adventus Mining just announced a merger. And before I get into this any further, I'm an Adventus Mining shareholder right now. I've been a Luminex shareholder in the past, but I don't have any current positions. With this merger, let's talk about what it looks like from each side. So from Adventus Mining side, they have this Domo project, super high grade copper, gold, and silver project, primarily copper, but one of the highest grades in the world, and also it's going to be one of the lowest cost producers in the world. That company, after that mine's in production, is going to be gushing cash. And they had their financing already arranged, well, most of it, from Wheaton Precious Metals. They got $241 million from them a while back in exchange for a stream on the part of the gold and silver. So they had that $240 million, but they were going to need approximately another $40 million, and the stock price was really depressed, I think partially because investors were concerned about going into a recession, and the copper stocks always get killed going into a recession, but also there was a big financing risk because the stock prices were so low and Adventus was going to need money soon, so investors were concerned about how they were going to get that and how dilutive it was going to be. Well, in the case of this merger, it mostly fixes that financing issue because concurrent with the merger, they're also getting a $17 million investment from three main parties. One is Ross Beatty. The second is Wheaton Precious Metals. Wheaton Precious Metals was already almost a 10% shareholder in the company, so they're investing again here. And third is a group of Ecuadorian investors. So they're getting 17 of that 40 million that's going to be needed. But the really important thing is that Ross Beatty is now a large shareholder of Adventus, or is going to be after this deal closes. So from an Adventus Mining shareholder, this basically relieves all of my concern around financing, because I know that if Adventus needs money in the future, which they will need some, well, then Ross will most likely be there to provide it. So that's really good, and I think that's going to be great for the stock. And in addition to that, after this Domo project is in production, it's going to be gushing cash. Adventus Mining is going to be making so much money from this. So they're going to need a place to put that money. So they had pretty good ground that they could explore and probably find more VMS style deposits like Domo. Luminex, on the other hand, they have a huge land package, and they have one project that's already pretty far advanced. It's at the PEA stage, and that's the Condor project. And after Adventus is going to be getting all of this cash, they'll be able to put that into the Condor project and probably move that one towards production pretty quickly. So one thing I'm not super happy about with this is that Luminex shareholders are going to be 39% owners of this company if this transaction closes, so effectively diluting my share of that super profitable mine. But at the same time, it also gets rid of that financing risk and gets Adventus $17 million right now, which will help prevent any other kind of dilutive financing. So there was going to be some kind of dilution that was going to happen, whether that would be resource dilution in the form of some stream or royalty, or whether that was going to be share dilution. It's out of the way at least. Now let's look at it from a Luminex shareholder position. They were an explorer that's just spending money exploring. So now it's going from a company that's just spending money, fast-tracked into a company that's actually making money. I think it looks better from a Luminex shareholder perspective than from an Adventus shareholder perspective. But as an Adventus shareholder, overall, I'm happy about it. I'm happy to have Ross Beatty on board. I'm happy to have that additional financing, and any financing needs in the future will most likely be covered. So that's really great. And it's nice to have Ross Beatty's stamp of approval and also his supervision, because when he's a big shareholder in a company, he's paying a lot of attention to that company, and it's always great to have that adult supervision over the company from somebody who really knows what he's doing. So now after this deal, you have Altius Minerals, who's known as one of the best capital allocators in the industry, owning almost 10%. You have Wheaton Precious Metals in the same position, owning almost 10%, and also known as one of the best capital allocators. And now you have Ross Beatty, who's arguably the most successful mining entrepreneur alive, owning more than 10% of the company. Plus you have other institutional investors. Like the roster of heavy hitters and institutional investors on this $50 million market cap company is out of this world. So it really goes to show how good of a project they have in El Domo.